Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsea. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up or commenting below. If you want to see more of my videos, press the subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications. If you need any Stampin' Up! Products to make these cards, you can visit my online store and the link is in the description box below. When you purchase Stampin' Up! Products through me, you can earn free products. Check out my current customer appreciation products on my blog. The link is listed below in the description box. So I'm really excited today because it's October 2nd and I can show you the October 2020 Sheetload of Cards by Call Me Crafty out. So as one of Alicia's Sheetload of Cards YouTube team members, I get to create cards to go along with that month's template. So these are the cards that I've created this month. Let me go ahead and show you the template. So when you visit her YouTube channel, she has a link in the description box and it will take you to get your free template. All you need to do is subscribe to her channel and she provides all the cutting and measurement instructions on this template. And so you can see how the card is put together and then she gives you some ideas over here on different ways to use this sketch. And the link to go to her YouTube channel, as well as all the other team members, can also be found in my description box. So today I'd like to share with you the cards that I made, as well as a couple tips and tricks to creating some of the details in my card. So one of the fun things about her templates is that they usually include two different types of designer series paper or pattern paper. And so the paper that I used today is the Poinsettia Dies designer series paper, and you can find that online or in the holiday catalog. Now that normally is a Christmas pattern paper, but today I wanted to kind of create some thank you cards, and even though it has a little bit of that Christmas feel, I don't feel like it's a very strong Christmassy card, and so I could use this any time of year. Some of the other fun things that I've included on this card are a lot of different die cuts. And so I'm going to show you where each one of these leaves die cuts come from because they're each from a different die pack. I also want to share with you how to create these cute big bows that I've placed on each card. And then this really fun paper banner. And usually I would connect it here in the middle, but for this time I wanted to leave it open. Can you see that it's open there? And so that creates more drama to the card by giving it a little more height. It will still fold flat on the card, and I'll show you how to make sure that it does that in this video as well. So let's go ahead and start by talking a little bit about these die cuts. So there were 3 die cuts that I used for my cards. So the first one is this kind of stick berry looking die cut, and I've cut it from silver foil, and it's from the Poinsettia Dies. The second one is this kind of a larger leaf look, and it's from the In the Woods dies, and I've cut it from soft sea foam cardstock. And then the third one is from the Wreath Builder dies, and it's actually a wreath. Now let me show you what it looks like on the card. So it's an individual kind of leaf fern look here. And so let me show you how I got that from this wreath. What I did is I took a pair of paper snips, and just as you're running along the wreath, you'll come to a leaf that's connected to a stem here. And you'll notice that no other leaves are connected to a stem at the top. And so you're just going to go ahead and take your snips and you're going to just cut and kind of, you want to cut with the direction of that leaf so it doesn't look like you've cut it away from anything. And then you follow it again and you cut again. And there actually are 4 sections to this wreath that are exactly the same. And so that's one section. And then we'll trim again and have section number 2. And they're just slightly different. They're not exactly the same, but you get about the same kind of look. So these two here are the same. You can see that there's an extra leaf in here. And then these two, I'm just going to trim that a little bit, are the same. Okay, so that's where those 3 die cuts came from. All right, so next I want to show you how I created the big bow that's on my cards. So what I have here is one of the ribbons. So this is the weave ribbon that's from the Forever Greenery combo pack. And I'm going to cut 8 inches of that ribbon. You could also use another soft ribbon like the crinkled seam binding ribbon would work as well. And then I'm going to take some linen thread and I'm going to cut 8 inches. So I'm just going to use my grid paper, and 8 inches is right here in the middle from the edge. So I begin by folding my weave ribbon into thirds, and I want it to be like a Z fold. So I'm not bringing this bottom one up into the front, I'm keeping it behind. So they're kind of just folding right on top of each other, and I want to keep it nice and even. So I want it to be then the ends to stack right on top of those folds. So the next thing I'm going to do is take my 8 inches of linen thread, and I'm just going to tie a loose knot, and I'm going to bring my ends back together. And so now I'm going to have my ends on one side, my knot in the middle, and then that loop. And I'm going to put my fingers through the loop. I'm going to hold my weave ribbon on one side and put, so now my ribbon is in the middle of the loop. So I pulled it through. And then I'm actually going to fold that weave ribbon around that loop, bring the ends together, and you'll see that now I've kind of identified the middle of that weave ribbon. I'm going to bring my ends together here, and then I kind of just pull it with my ends together because I want to make sure that I have as close to the same amount of linen thread on both sides. Sometimes when I tie a knot, I will have one end that's much longer than the other, and I don't want that to happen here. And so by holding those ends together, I know it feels a little bit awkward, but by holding those ends together and then just pulling that down and kind of readjusting and making sure everything stays together, I'm getting them pretty close. I have one that's maybe about 1/4 of an inch longer than the other, but that's, I'm okay with that. So once that has one knot, I am going to go ahead and tie a second knot. And this is just going to make sure that everything stays where I want it. And then this is not a pretty bow. So I now need to fiddle with this to create a nicer looking bow. And the way I do this is I take my finger and I put it through the loop of one of the bows, and I hold on to the loose end as well as the linen thread. So that's on one side. And then on the other side, I pull on just the loose end, and that's going to give me a smaller loop and longer end here. And so now I'm kind of creating more of that bow shape. Okay, so then on the other side, I'm going to hold on to the loose end, put my finger through the loop, and make sure I hold on to that linen thread. That's going to keep the linen thread in the middle because it can slide as you're adjusting. And then I'm going to take that end and I'm going to pull just a little bit to make the loops a little bit smaller and a little more fluffy. It just kind of gives them that look, that bow look that we're looking for. Okay, so you can see, and then I kind of just pull those ends down. Sometimes they want to go at an angle. Let me see if I can find one that's like that, like this one. This one just really wanted to be that way, and I'm okay with that. And so sometimes that's the way they want to go and stay. Other times you can get them to come down into more of that pretty bow look. Okay, and then you're going to now take your linen thread and you're just going to tie a bow on top. So this is kind of a double big bow, which is kind of a fun look. This combo pack, the Greenery combo pack that the weave ribbon is in, also comes with a gold twine. And so this would be really pretty with that gold twine as well. I just wanted to stick with the linen thread because my colors for the card are more silver instead of gold. Okay, so then once your bow's all put together, then I just used some strong glue dots and I just added it to the back of my ribbon and then added it to my card at the base of my die cut leaves. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you was that paper banner. I'm not going to go into lots of detail. I'm just going to show you the dimensions and then how to apply it to your card. So what I have here is a strip that's 1 inch by 5 inches, and it's in soft suede color cardstock. And so I need to make sure that I have a scoring blade on my paper cutter and not just a paper cutting blade. So I want to use the scoring blade here, and I'm going to line it up at 4 inches, and I'm going to score, and then I'm going to slide it to 4 1/4 and score. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. So 4 inches, score, and then 4 1/4 and score. I have to say that I have used this banner pick-a-punch on almost every single project since I've received it. I'm really loving how easy it is to make banners with it. So now I'm going to use this fishtail end. I'm just going to slide that in, make sure it touches and that it's in there nice and even, and then punch, and then I'll do it again. So it's in all the way. I'm just going to double check and then punch. Okay. All right, so what I have here is a fishtail. Let me see if I can actually, this will be better. So I have a fishtail banner on one side. I have 2 score lines, and then I have the same here. At this point, this is when I would stamp my greeting. I did use some silver embossing powder for that. And then you're going to fold along those score lines so that the banner comes back out. So you fold it under and then back, and you're going to have about 1/4 inch overlap on behind it. And normally this is when I would add dimensionals here, and then that would hold it down on my card. But because I wanted to have more, so this one's really pronounced, but this one has such a big impact, it kind of bends out towards the receiver, the person who's received the card. I just thought that was super cute, and I didn't want to hold it down with a dimensional. So the way I added it to my cards is I placed another strong glue dot, 1 or 2, just on these flat ends here. And then I folded it as tight as I could, and then I placed it on my card. So the only places that it's adhering to the card are here on the ends, and then this is free to pop up. But when you place it in a envelope, it should be flat, and it will fit flat, but then when you lift it up, when it comes out, it will lift up a little bit. Okay, so that's how I did that. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I created for this month's Sheetload of Cards. Make sure to check out the other team members, and you can find their links in the description box below. Have a creative day. Bye.